can't do that in a garage. There's just a few places in the world with the right equipment and only a few people in the world with the right training to be able to do that. Why do we not support this? Because it's not safe. And no disrespect to Matt Armstrong, I think it's the right thing to do for a Bugatti, but when you know all of this, it just becomes apparent it's not the right thing to do in order to make clicks with their repair. You understand why we decided the way we did.
Alright fam, got another insane video for you guys today. Yep, Matt Armstrong exposed Bugatti. CEO Matt from Bugatti versus Matt Armstrong and FX Alex on this $6 million Bugatti rebuild. I'm going to show you guys an example of some 3D parts being printed for a Bugatti. It could be done. And as well as what's the most latest and greatest from the very beginning of this situation till now, and what kind of issues it's causing for both sides, and some more updates on Matt, the Bugatti, FX Alex. So hang steady, man. This is gonna be a good one. We're gonna get right down to the bottom of it.
And if you want some good footage, you want some Fast and Furious footage, this is the man to follow. Like and subscribe, let's go.
Tommy G. McGee. Say hi to Lucci's boys.
Lucci!
Good to see you, man.
Lucci has really strong knuckles. I give him a fist bump, I always have bruises out. Bro. Legend.
You're the man, my boy.
This is a local legend.
My brother.
Hit that subscribe button. Stop messing around.
That's right.
Alright fam, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, you know what to do. Please reach over, smash that like and subscribe. It's free to subscribe, it don't cost you a thing. I'll bring you the latest and the greatest in the car community news. And this video is going to be about Matt Armstrong exposing Bugatti in so many different ways. 3D parts being printed for a Bugatti. I'm going to show you an example of that and how it can very obviously easily be done. It's not the hardest thing to be done. And what really happened from the beginning with FX Alex, the Bugatti, and obviously he didn't want to send it over to Bugatti and have them take control of the car and get the car back in a year or two and get all these extra charges. And you know, Matt Armstrong has been steady exposing Bugatti on their parts, being Volkswagen parts. And, you know, just the fact that a lot of the stuff he can do, but he has came to a stop in a lot of it with the transmission issue and many other things. But I believe by Bugatti blacklisting the vehicle, which blacklisting means ultimately they stopped the VIN number on that car from anyone being able to buy parts for it. And it's actually making it a less safe situation, as FX Alex refers to here. I'm going to get you guys to the clip on that and get you a little clip on what's going on with the build. And then I'm going to show you what the CEO, Matt, said from Bugatti in regards to you just can't build this in a garage, right? I mean, a lot of the build could be done in the garage. I believe so, obviously. But there's going to be some stuff even Matt Armstrong mentioned that cannot really be done without the help of Bugatti. So ultimately, will this bring Matt and FX Alex to their knees and a big hold on this Bugatti where it's halfway done and never completely fixed? And they're going to have to surrender to Bugatti and surrender the car to Bugatti and have it get done by them? This will be yet to be seen, but I don't think that it's going to be as easy as they thought, which I know they didn't think it was going to be as simple, but certain parts they're going to need, especially when it comes to that transmission. But so far, again, Matt has proven that he's been able to get a lot of parts for this vehicle. He's already taken it apart. He's been doing a great job on it. So let me get you over to the clip of what FX Alex said. I'm going to get you to the clip of what Matt, the CEO of Bugatti, has said. And then we're going to get right back to it. And I'm going to give you guys some more stuff. I'm going to show you guys the 3D printing of some Bugatti parts. So hang steady.
That safety is the most important thing when driving such an expensive, luxurious, and powerful vehicle. When I got into this accident with the Bugatti Chiron, safety, the precautions that were made behind it is what kept me safe. When I got into the accident, everything worked perfectly. The airbags, the seatbelt locking, everything was great. And thanks to those engineers and the safety precautions, I'm here today to tell the story. So I entirely agree with you that safety is the most important thing. Now, I disagree with you, and I believe it's very disingenuous that you not selling us parts is actually a safety issue. I actually think is that it increases the safety issue with this vehicle. The reasoning behind it is because if you don't sell us parts to fix this car, we're going to find a third party, fourth party, fifth party solution to figure it out, because we will fix this vehicle. And when your technician came to Miami to inspect the vehicle for the insurance to see the length of the damages to inform the insurance of it. They could have labeled this car certificate of destruction. But guess what? They didn't. They thought that you could crash Bugatti, buy it back, and nonetheless fix it. That's what they said. What do you gotta say to that?
I think we can rebuild this.
You think so?
I think we can.
Fuck it, let's go.
All of this comes to a stop now because we've actually got to repair it. First thing I think what everyone's going to want to know is like, why do you buy it back?
So my first original thought process was that when am I going to have the opportunity to buy my second Bugatti Pure Sport back? You know, like I thought that I was just going to crash it, lose it, and never have it back. But it's like a sentimental attachment that I have to the car, and I just didn't want to not have it anymore. You know, I could have totally bought another one. But I just like this one, you know. And it's also like a big fuck you, you know.
Exactly. I think it's I mean, it makes sense. Well, I have a sentimental attachment to most of my cars. But then to buy this back, and you spent how much?
I spent $2 million cash.
Yeah, you can't finance like a crash damaged car.
You know, it's just not insured, right?
Oh yeah, because it's crashed.
Yeah, I can't insure it because the bank is gonna come. They're gonna come inspect it and be like, yeah, we're gonna insure a fucked up fender.
Without using Bugatti.
Yeah.
The car is a Bugatti, but it uses a lot of Volkswagen parts.
How comfortable? Like, how fast do you think it'll take you to strip the whole thing apart?
Well, I've never worked on one before, but I think in this, just tonight, we'll get the majority of it stripped. Anything that's damaged is coming off.
Built not back. Oh, shit weighs nothing.
What the hell? You just picked up with one hand? No way. Is it that light?
Look at these things.
Oh my days. Like, that is a huge brake.
Or the carbon fiber monocoque. There's so many connections. I'm not sure if you can see that in any car here, but in a Chiron there's so many electrical wires, piping, oil piping, water piping, fuel lines that connect from the monocoque to the rear section, and they have to split the car in half. So, I mean, this is a tourbillon prototype, but you can imagine the Chiron is similar. So where the engine is and you have the rear subframe that needs to be separated from the car. You can't do that in a garage. There's just a few places in the world with the right equipment and only a few people in the world with the right training to be able to do that. So why do we not support this? Because it's not safe. And then imagine on top of that, again, this car being a very expensive asset. What does it do for the value of the car in the future if someone wants to buy it? If it was repaired properly, option A, right? Properly repaired by Bugatti in Bugatti facilities, by Bugatti techs, or done by someone in a garage. And no disrespect to Matt Armstrong, I think he's doing amazing things. He's a great guy and all of that. Like, I also follow his videos, all good. But we just don't think it's safe. And that's why we can't support it. We can't. We don't think it's the right thing to do for a Bugatti. I would love to support from a car enthusiast perspective, but when you know all of this, it just becomes apparent it's not the right thing to do. That's why we are not doing it. A little bit of myth busting today. There's been lots of talk online about Bugatti service, repair, and maintenance costs recently online, and most of what you hear is simply not true. Yes, Bugattis are very expensive cars, but we really care about the running costs because we want these cars to be around in 50 years, 100 years, like old Bugattis are today still. And in order to make people use those cars, it can't be crazy expensive. And the guys recognize that some of the part numbers of the airbag module in the Chiron has the same numbers, not all of them, like an Audi module, and that it could physically fit. I was involved in the Chiron development, but the tourbillon has no parts from other cars. We have to customize all of them for the tourbillon. And now an airbag module, it might have the same housing or the same detonator like another car. I don't know which cars share that with the tourbillon, but I'm sure with the tourbillon and Nevera as well, for sure it's not the same airbag inside. So if it fits on the same bolts, and you put it in the Chiron now, just because it has the same Audi part, and then someone just puts randomly leather over it, like an upholsterer just puts leather over it without all of this, it's really dangerous. Because the kinematics and the ergonomy in every car are different. You're not sitting the same in a Chiron and in an Audi A3.
So there it is there, fam. A couple clips of what Alex said. A couple of clips of what Matt, the CEO of Bugatti, said. I mean, he does look up to Matt Armstrong, watch his videos, has respect for him and stuff. But, you know, it's going to come to the point where I believe they're not going to be wanting him to film a lot of this stuff anymore. Not that they're going to have the right to stop him, but there's going to be some kind of clause where they're going to get into some kind of legal issue, most likely, due to the fact that once this car is hopefully done, it's going to become to a halt because Bugatti is not going to certify it, and they're not going to get the money that the car is worth. The value is going to drop in half, and they're going to ultimately probably again have to surrender that vehicle to Bugatti to have them finish it. And again, I know FX Alex wants to get his name out there. He's obviously a trader from Miami, does a lot of trading and stuff like that. And they want to do it for the clicks and the views. And but is it in the safest way? Who knows? We're not going to know till this story ends and the car is either finished or not finished. We will see if it's worth the clicks and the views at the end. But I honestly don't think that some of the stuff, especially again the transmission work, is ever going to be able to be completed without Bugatti and the parts they need from Bugatti. Car's blacklisted, So getting any parts is just not going to happen. Now, printing some parts, headlights, other parts of the car, that could be done without a problem, I'm sure of it. And I'm going to get you guys to a little clip here, a little sample. It's a pretty funny one, but someone actually printing up Bugatti parts. Wait till you see what this looks like here. It's pretty interesting. But hey, it could be done on a bigger scale. Obviously, people have 3D printed whole cars. So let me get you to this little clip here, get you some more footage on what's going on. So hang steady, let me get you to the clip.
You can't 3D print those things. You know, I 3D print stuff for 15 years. We are pioneers in 3D printing, like the suspension arms and lots of stuff here in the car is 3D printed in different materials.
Can Bugatti even do a cease and desist like Ferrari does? Not too sure about that, but who knows, man? We will see how it turns out. Let me get you guys a little bit more
Materials. You can't 3D print headlights or a gearbox housing if you replace. You could 3D print the gearbox housing. You can't just go ahead and, oh, I have a broken gearbox housing and now I just push a button somewhere.
All right, so there's just a little sample of Bugatti parts being printed, guys. I mean, I know it's kind of funny, but hey, at the end of the day, it could be done. Once again, as I said, they've 3D printed whole cars. You can do all kinds of stuff with a 3D printer on a big scale. So if Bugatti thinks that Matt and them cannot get these parts printed, it's not true. When it comes to certain other stuff, yeah, they're gonna have to get some stuff from Bugatti is kind of what it's gonna hash out to at the end. But hey, man, Matt started off with humble beginnings. You know, he's just started doing light rebuilds, and so far he's became the head guy when it comes to rebuilding supercars. It doesn't matter what car it is. Now it's his first hypercar, and I wish the best for him and Alex. And I think ultimately it's going to be a collab at the end with Bugatti and them. I don't think that they're going to be able to take it to the finish line. I mean, I hope that they could, but I think it's going to come to a halt. And I think that if it keeps on going on, you know, Bugatti is going to end up trying to do possibly something legal when it comes to them. I'm not too sure about that, or if they would even have the right to, but we will see about that. I know they don't like the filming because it's making them look bad, but let's see who looks bad at the end and who looks good. You guys leave your comment and opinion here and let me know what you guys think in regards to the situation. Do you think they're going to finish it? Do you think they're going to complete it without Bugatti parts or help from Bugatti? Especially with that transmission repair and the big old crack that is in the main tub of the vehicle. So we will find out. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. Appreciate all y'all. Peace.
5 years ago, I decided to rebuild an Audi TT, which we bought back from insurance. A year after that, I decided to quit my full-time job to do what I love doing, filming rebuilding cars on YouTube. Fast forward 4 years after that, we now built my dream garage at home with a collection where each and every single car has a separate story. This is truly unreal. Attached to that is a full Gymshark gym, fully kitted out so I can work out from home. And to ensure I keep the motivation, through here is a window through onto the cars that we've rebuilt. Truly a dream come true. This time to chase your dreams next year.
Alright fam, if you made it through the whole video, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Leave your comment and opinion. Appreciate you hitting the like button. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
You trust, or you don't rust. We right here chilling. You guys know what time it is, man. Hanging out with Lucci, Mr. YouTube, man. You better follow his ass, because if you don't, I come in fast and furious and get you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't playing, dog. It's a face of no plan. Check it out. Boom.